Wasn't it, standing there in the champagne celebration? Fourth time in history a team loses games 1 and 2 at home and then winds up winning a best of 7. Blue Jays are on to the World Series where they're a prohibitive underdog against the Dodgers beginning on Friday. So an amazing night in Toronto, and then right down the road in Detroit, we had football, people, the Buccaneers and the Lions. In what looks like an NFC playoff preview. And Detroit was red hot right from the start. Early first were scoreless, but not for long. Amon-Ra St. Brown over the middle.
You get him the ball in space, good things are happening, especially if the DB falls down. An easy walk-in touchdown for St. Brown. 6-7.
Lions up 7-0. Now we're midway through the second, same score. Jeff, Jameer Gibbs.
I mean, untouched. Part of the Red Sea, walk through it, and then look at the speed. Ain't nobody catching him left.
78 yards. And someone who got the celebration here, look at this.
Oh, I'm too old. I don't know what that is.
Spider-Man, Superman.
It works.
Jameer Gibbs, spectacular night. Lions up 14-0. Now, Bucs looking to respond. Baker Mayfield is a terrible moment here. You're going to see Mike Evans, J-Mac on the wrong end of this one.
Yeah, I think as a football fan, you hate to see something like this. Michael Evans, Mr. Consistency year in and year out, just coming back from an injury, goes down. He'd be leaving.
It's a broken collarbone and a concussion. Terrible situation. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Meanwhile, pick it up third quarter. It's Baker Mayfield. They've got something in this Tez Johnson.
Yeah, he's not easy to bring down, even though he's a smaller guy. Spin at the end, finish.
Go back and watch that heck block.
He's the MVP. They can't for me.
They go for the two. They don't get it. So it's 14-9. I tell you what, Jameer Gibbs, this burst, Jeff, not going to touch him. Look at him.
The speed. I mean, if Penei Sewell, I mean, that dude is so fast, missed it. Yeah, otherwise that walks in.
And
don't worry, the next play they walk in.
Brings it in 218 yards from scrimmage for Jameer Gibbs last night. 2 touchdowns. 21-9 is the score. Then big moment here. Still early fourth quarter. Still a chance for Tampa. It's on a 4th and 4. They're going for it, and they get it. Or do they? K. Dotton stretching for it. Dan Campbell says, I think he's short. And Dan Campbell is right. Wow. Baker Mayfield can't believe it. They overturn it. Lions add a field goal. It's 24-9. Now it's desperation time for Tampa. This on a 4th down play. That one falls harmlessly incomplete. That defense for the Lions banged up, but they can celebrate. An impressive win in the NFC. Lions take it 24-9.
How about the defense? Listen, 9 points allowed, 4 of 16 on 3rd down, 1 interception, 1 fumble recovery, 252 yards allowed, man. That's outstanding defense. Listen, we did what we had to do. There's things we got to clean up, but I tell you what, defense, you play like that, you win every game. That's the bottom line. That's outstanding. That's the way to cut it loose, just like we talked about, guys.
I tell you, I am intimidated by that man's neck. Just his neck alone scares me to death. But that is one unbelievable coach. And to make the point for anyone who didn't see the game last night, why he's crediting his defense and his defensive coaches, they were playing without literally any of their starting secondary.
Yeah, their 2 top corners and their 2 top safeties. That's it. That's a base defense secondary, right? Like those 4 positions. And you wouldn't have known it. And that's the thing. Like the way they coach these guys. Kelvin Shepard, his first year as a defensive coordinator, a coach that they have. He's only in his 5th year as a coach, right? He was a player a half a decade ago still. So you have a guy that is part of the system, that brought along by Dan Campbell as a coach and ready to step in when Aaron Glenn gets the job as head coach of the Jets, doing an outstanding job. It just speaks to the culture that's been set there. You see Dan Campbell in that locker room, and you can feel it. You know why guys want to play for him.
And they literally never lose back-to-back games. They haven't in 2 years. So here's the question. Yesterday, a lot of the group that we had up here were surprised when we listed, according to our analytics, the top 4 teams in the NFC, and the Lions weren't one of them. They were 5th by an eyelash, but they weren't one of the 4. If you were to power rank the NFC big boys right now, where would you put the Lions?
One. I mean, this is a very good football team. And even banged up, I think the Bucs are a great. I would have had them 1, 2, and 3, or somewhere in that range. And these are 2 heavyweights that went at it last night. And what I love about it is it wasn't a perfect game by the Lions, right? They didn't play perfectly. They still found a way to win, and they won it in kind of the antithesis, right? Like usually it's the Bucs have all these big plays, explosive plays. They shut them down. They had 8 explosive plays. The Lions did to 3 for the Bucs. That's the formula to win in the NFL. Dan Campbell's got these guys rolling. It was their best game of the season to me, and I don't mean because of numbers. I mean because of quality opponent and the way and the style they won with physicality.
They do everything well. Yeah. Like they can grind it out to beat you. They can beat you with explosive plays in the pass game. We even see Jamison Williams.
Yeah. Right.
They can beat you with explosive plays in the run game. They can rush the pass. It makes you wonder what would have been last year if Aiden Hutchinson had been healthy
go down.
at the end of the season.
He's incredible.
Yeah, they're
got McNeil back. I think they have a culture that's so loud, and it's like it feels so special and it feels rare. I know all of us have probably been a part of teams where you're like, it just feels different. It's like feels like a high school. It feels collegey, and you feel like you really care about the guys, and you really have trust and belief in the coaches, and it feels like something more important than winning a championship. Although obviously that's the most important thing. Those things are special, and they just jump off the screen. It doesn't happen, and we can speculate about different teams have this culture, have that culture. That one, it feels so real, and it's so impressive to be a part of.
And it's so apparent every time you see them. When you see Dan Campbell addressing the team, the way the guys look and feel around him, even all of the DBs last night, they all went to the game with Brian Branch jerseys on. That just goes to show you the bond and the relationships that they have within that locker room and the belief they have in one another that, to your point, Graz, you can have an entire secondary down and your defensive coordinator doesn't change the calls.
Right.
He doesn't play zone and play soft. He goes out there, he's aggressive because the expectation is for those guys to show up and play.
The expectation is for them to play as if they were the starters all along, and that's what they did. The Lions show up at the stadium convinced they know how they're going to win the game. Not that they're going to win the game, but how they're going to win the game. And they stay to that plan no matter what.
Those actions are consistent because all coaches say that. Like, next man up, we believe in you. We trust you. And then we go out there and you got a safety over top of me all game. Like, you don't believe in me. You don't trust me. They're like, we believe in you. We trust you. You better make it play. Because if you don't, we all out on our ass. And they made the plays every time. And it's the same as last year. They did it last year. A ton of injuries. They keep showing up, stepping up. That's the culture stuff that's almost impossible to recreate.
Let's give a little love to a great pro who is going to have a great streak come to an end this season, we would think. We put up 820. The injury for Mike Evans, we showed you again. It is a broken collarbone along with a concussion. It will almost certainly end his streak of 11 consecutive seasons of 1,000 receiving yards, the longest streak to begin a career ever, tied with Jerry Rice for the longest such streak at any point in a career. Mike Evans has played at least 13 games every year of his career. He's played only 4 this year, and if he returns at all this season, we would think it would be at the very end. So quick question, bad game or bad sign, Tampa Bay?
Bad game. I mean, Mayfield was off. He's throwing it high. They got pushed around. Their offensive line got pushed around. Defensive, they stayed in the fight, but they just a bad game, right? And injuries, at some point, they catch up. And it felt like last night they just didn't have the same pop. They didn't have that same kind of swag they've had in weeks prior. You run into a buzzsaw, on the road. Sometimes it happens.
I mean, I almost want to say neither. Like, the defense played so well. Like, Baker himself, I think, had a bad night. And part of that was the O-line. And I think also his accuracy issues. But I don't leave this feeling any worse about the Bucs, especially the way their defense, I think, played incredibly well despite not having a lot of support from the other side.
Getting takeaways early in that game, keeping them in it. It's definitely just, to me, a bad game. And the way Baker Mayfield has played this season, I expect him to bounce back next week and get things back rolling on the right track.
I mean, it's a bad sign they can't keep their receivers healthy. That is, but they do have depth there. And the first-round pick, Ibuka, looks like that was a pick a lot of people were scratching their heads about, but it looks like a pretty smart one now. Tampa Bay we've seen do it. They'll get healthier.
I'm just looking at their division. Got Carolina 1 game behind them. Not sure if people are buying into the Panthers really as a legitimate threat or whatever. So maybe Tampa, of all the teams in the NFC, might have the easiest path to get there. As we continue, that was one of 2 Monday night games we had last night. We will get to Seattle, where the defense was on full display on Monday Night Football. A dominant performance. Are the Seahawks for real in the crowded NFC? Plus, are the Chiefs back and better than ever as the team to beat in the AFC? We're breaking it down big picture as Week 7 is in the books. You're getting up with us. We're with you on ESPN.
Let's go.
Doubleheader on Monday night last night. If you did not stay up late, particularly on the East Coast, we've got you covered. Sam Darnold and the Seahawks hosting the Texans. Picking up final seconds, first quarter. Dominique, I give you Jackson, Smith, and Jigba.
Oh, yeah, he finds a little window, creates space, and Darnold squeezes it in there. And don't forget, he got a little bounce to him, too. Bang on that thing. Hey!
He's so good. Seahawks take a 14-6 lead at the half. Early third now. C.J. Stroud. Little play action, and J-Mac, he's throwing this where exactly?
Throwing it to the guy on the ground in the opposite color uniform. That
Not good.
is Ernest Jones picking that thing off. C.J. Stroud was like, you know what? I just got to get the ball out of my hands before somebody in Seattle hits me.
First pick he has thrown since week 3. Seahawks kick a field goal at 17-6. Then, Jeff, the one mistake that Darnold can't make.
Good. Like, you just wonder what in the world's going through your mind, man. Throw the ball away. Spin. If you do get a safety, at least get a safety. Hold on to the ball.
Take
now
a
you
knee.
do something.
Don't do that.
Now you end up giving them 6. Crazy play.
It is Will Anderson Jr. with both the sack and the recovery. Texans go for the 2, don't get it. So it's 17-12. Now it's 20-12, and it's JSN again.
Looks like the same play they scored a touchdown on. The man is the most dangerous deep threat in football and can get open short.
He had 8 catches, 123 yards. Zach Charbonnet takes it in, his second score of the night. Seahawks up 27-12. 8.5 minutes to go now. Darnold for A.J. Barner. There's going to be intercepted by Derek Stingley Jr. That I want you to watch the action at the end of this play. Nick, we got a major stiff arm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm defending my DBs, but I think he got a penalty for the stiff arm. And then you get a man, a helmetless on the sideline. It gets dangerous unless you got a superhero in stripes to come over there and save him.
Exactly. You know who he is, J-Mac. Watch the ref get in here to protect him.
That is Nate Jones, former Rutgers defensive back, also played 8 years in the NFL, now official.
Nice
Getting it
job.
done. Rutgers just guys do great things.
That's a great job. Off the pick, desperation time for Houston. This is a 4th down play. Not even close. Stroud frustrated. Seahawks defense celebrates. Maybe not Sam Darnold's best night, but more than enough for an impressive win. Seattle takes it 27-19. So they keep pace with the Rams and the 49ers in the best division in football. That's a lot of zeros on the Cardinals.
Lots of zeros over there on the far right.
They're 10,000.
That's
They're
ridiculous.
plus 10,000.
You're looking to win the lottery. Bet big on that one.
Well, look,
Saying there's a chance.
the other 3 teams all at 5-2, so that NFC West is bunched up, and it gets us thinking about Darnold in a different way, too. Let's do Overreaction Tuesday. You know, any day that ends in a Y is a good day for some overreactions, Graz. And if someone were to say the Vikings made a big mistake letting Sam Darnold get out of the building, would that be an overreaction?
Not based on what we've seen this year. Look, they have a time to get it right, but if you want to question that decision based on the way this season has gone, based on the way Sam Darnold has played in Seattle, and by the way, Daniel Jones has played in Indianapolis, they had him in the building too. J.J. McCarthy's played 2 games. He is not healthy. Those 2 games didn't go great in the first place. It looks shaky from right now where we sit.
Yeah, we start with the first thing. He's on the field
and
healthy and playing.
Yes.
And then you take the next step to he's actually playing very well. I think it was the right decision over the long term, but it's impossible to argue that it's the right decision over short term.
These are the numbers.
These stats right here.
It's very hard to argue, right? Darnold has 12 touchdowns, 4 picks. His QBR is 6th best in the league. The Vikings collective quarterbacks have the 29th best QBR in the NFL. Jeff Saturday is giving me a bad look. Why?
It's like in a vacuum. This is kind of nonsense. We're backing into. They got rid of Darnold because of the end of last season, right? When they played the Lions in Week 17, he doesn't play good. He doesn't play good. Now they lose in the playoffs in the wild card. You got to make a big investment after you've made a high draft pick, right? And McCarthy's sitting out for that season. If I'm going to trust anyone, I'm going to trust Kevin O'Connell.
Sure.
He knows the right guys, right? Unfortunately, McCarthy got banged up again this year, but there's no forecasting injury. I understand that. But to keep other guys that you don't really know, I'm going to lean to the air on Kevin O'Connell.
Why were you making that skeptical face?
I don't think they got rid of Darnold because of the last 2 games of the season. I think they got rid of Darnold because they picked the guy 10th in the draft, and they wanted to pivot to him.
Well, I agree, but I'm saying the money,
you can't
too.
Forecast injury. He was already injured when they made the decision last year. So it's a high-risk decision. It could pay off. I'm with you on O'Connell.
Yeah.
But based on what we've seen so far this year?
Let me pose a question. Is it in its own way, and I mean this almost in a positive way, an arrogant decision, which is to say our coach is so good that there's no reason for us to pay, top dollar for any quarterback when he can turn a lot of quarterbacks into someone that good? Is that the mindset that they take into a decision like that? Because I wouldn't blame them if they did.
Right, agreed.
I would say yes, especially when you don't think that quarterback is going to take you to a Super Bowl.
Right.
And he is that special to warrant the price tag. You believe in the head coach who's been the quarterback whisperer to get the next guy.
I think there's a bunch of things that go into the decision, but I think we're lying to ourselves if we don't accept that what Jeff said is true. if Sam Darnold plays well in those last 2 games of the season, Sam Darnold is their quarterback.
For
Very
sure.
hard. They beat the Lions and become the number 1 seed, and they win a playoff game. They're playing that man and keeping him. And you shouldn't allow those type of results to decide your decision, but I actually think that they made the right
The
decision.
Giants paid Daniel Jones when he took him to the
That's
playoffs,
right.
won a playoff game
That's
on
what
the road.
happens.
Remember when they were all carrying Sam
Yeah,
Darnold
we all
around
thought
on
it
their
was
shoulders
done.
in the locker room? Okay, let's go on with the overreactions. Graz, if I said Kansas City is headed back to the Super Bowl again, is that an overreaction?
No, how could it be an over? They're in the Super Bowl every single year.
Exactly.
If you're going to pick a team that you trust to get there, I know that. I mean, they're 4-3. It hasn't gone great. They started 0-2, but man, we talk about that Dallas offense. If there's an offense playing equally well, it's Indianapolis or it's Kansas City right now. They are humming, and we've seen it. Like, this is a team that knows how to navigate the season and the postseason in a number of different ways to get to the Super Bowl. I don't think you can pick against them.
I agree. I think the hardest part for this is, to me, the Indianapolis Colts are the best team in the NFL. You're going to get to the point where it's Mahomes and any other quarterback in the league. And the bottom line is he gets there every year. And so it's hard to say it's an overreaction because the reality is they find ways no matter what. I don't think they're the best team, but to bet against them would be difficult.
Let me throw into the conversation as well. We're in this trade, deadline period here. No team is going to add a player as good as Rashee Rice is. He was suspended the first 6 games of the season.
saw it.
That situation is what it is. From a football standpoint, he's an unbelievably good player, and they bring him back. That's a bigger addition than any other team is going to make.
I mean, they mercy ruled the Raiders. Like, it was like a peewee game.
The Raiders only ran 30
plays.
So bad.
And the Chiefs had 30 first downs.
You'd have thought it was a running clock out there.
Dog just busted my man Pete
It was
there.
3 minutes to
They
go.
did. They went into victory formation with
That broke
3
my
minutes
heart.
left.
Me too.
I was mad for them. I was like, no, Pete Carroll chewing gum and they kneeling with 3 minutes left. Y'all better get up and run a damn play.
That's right. Don't
Sneak in one more
embarrass.
quickly, because I love Graz's line on this. If someone were to say the Bengals could win the AFC North, is that an overreaction?
It is not. Last Thursday's Bengals victory over the Steelers was as significant a result as any game in the NFL has had this year because it brings the Steelers back to the pack in the AFC North. That includes the Bengals, who are 3-4 now. It includes the 1-5 Ravens, who still have their 2 Steeler games left. This was vital for the Bengals and the rest of the AFC North to prevent the Steelers from running away with it. If Joe Flacco can find those 2 receivers over and over again like he did Thursday, and if there's any chance Joe Burrow is coming back in December, which it sounds like there's at least some chance, then the Bengals still have hope.
Yeah, some injuries and some bad luck to the other teams and just the Steelers aging, I guess. This division has turned to a really bad division that could be winnable by a team that only has 1 win right now.
It still doesn't look right. Like, you look at the screen, and my immediate inclination is like, why do we have the Ravens 4th at 1-5? There's no way that's possible, and yet it is.
100%. And the unfortunate part is the Steelers had you talk about controlling your destiny at the end of the season. Games like Thursday night were control your destiny games, right? We used to talk about that in the locker room. There are certain games, everybody said they all count the same. There are certain ones that really matter more. That one on Thursday night that they let get away, that's one that's going to bite them.
And the Ravens coming off the bye week, like, is Lamar Jackson healthy?
That's right.
Is he going to be out there on Sunday for them to start to get on a roll?
Right?
He was not at the practice they had yesterday.
He was not.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that's a little bit of a concern.
That's not a little bit of a concern.
Oh, we'll see. I mean,
that's a big bit.
That's an extra practice, so we'll see.
All right, we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, speaking of major concerns,